Hi guys, Amajot here with some stuff to help you create ease, create some stress relief. You know that, have you felt that relief of letting go of what's stressing you out, what's making you feel anxious or worried or panicked, or that kind of heaviness that you can feel, or the overwhelm you can feel that kind of, I think, bring stress together. Like, there's so many different reasons. Like, what does stress mean to you? I'd love to hear from you about that. But I think stress can kind of be made up by so many different things that affect us physically or mentally or emotionally. And when it gets too much, when the pressure and the challenge and the overwhelm get too much, then it's complete full upness, heaviness, anxiety, not being able to switch off, complete over-analysis, and it can feel painful. Like, it can actually feel painful, whether it's in the body or emotionally feel painful. You can feel like there's something going on in your gut or your heart, and that's certainly how it has felt for me and can feel for me in different forms. How does it show up for you, and how do you manage it? I'd love to hear that. So for me, I know that sometimes I get over analytical. I'm an analytical person, I can't deny it. So I get over analytical sometimes, and I'm getting better and pretty good, I think, at noticing it now. And that's because I've done a lot of work on that, and because I realized that my over analysis, my angsting over things, would lead me to anxiety when really it didn't need to. And those are things I can control, so and you can't control what you can't control. But if I can manage my analysis and over analysis, then I'm not going to feel as anxious, or I'm not going to feel like I have to control everything. So actually, what I found is a really good way of accepting that I'm an analytical person. I overanalyze things sometimes, and I can do more with chilling out. Okay, I know that. So I can do things like add creativity, add play, add distractions, like, I love my calligraphy, or reading, or being outside, or being in nature. I can do all of those things. But what I can also do, and I wonder if this resonates with you, is to actually use those skills I have at being analytical in a good way, putting them to good use, putting my mind to good use, and then naturally reducing any anxiety or any struggle or any stress or overwhelm. And I can do that in different ways. And I'd love to share this with you so that you can see, maybe you already do these. Let me know how they get on for you. Let me know what you think. And or if you have any alternatives. So I like to, when I notice that I'm being over analytical, I like to switch it over and use it as data instead. So what's going on in my life that I can use as data? What does this situation or how I'm behaving tell me, whether it's about me or whether it's about how I want to be in a situation? Do I want, how do I explain this? So maybe reviewing progress, maybe looking at evidence. So where am I now? If I'm starting to get over analytical about maybe progress I'm making with a project or something, where am I now compared to where I was 6 months ago? And that's why it's useful to have goals and have wishes and desires, and then have actions behind those wishes and desires, because what you'll find is when you go back and review them, they actually you'll be surprised at how much more that you've progressed with. And I don't just mean in a work environment, I mean in a life environment, with your relationships, with wanting to do more or less with your family, your friends, how much you want to do more for yourself, your hobbies, all of this stuff. And what's the evidence? So using your analytical mind to find evidence of what is true and what isn't true. So if you wake up feeling like, I can't manage this today, or I'm not good at this, I'm not good enough at this, then actually find evidence to the contrary. Well, actually, I stand up and spoke about this in front of 10 people, and it actually went really well, and I could have made improvements, but I did that. That's evidence. I did something scary and I said no when when really I didn't want to say yes to going out for the 6th night in a week. I said no, and I have done that before, and that's evidence. And if you can't find evidence for yourself, then look at other people doing that. There's other people's evidence, and if they can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And staying curious. So switching over that analysis and saying, okay, how can I be curious about this situation rather than analyzing what I could have done better or what I can do more of? What can I get curious about? What might I not know about this? Where could I make my life easier? And starting to get curious using progress and evidence, collecting real data. So what actually happened? What were the facts in this situation rather than letting your mind tell you a story that might not necessarily be true? Go back and collect the facts. Was that person actually angry with me, or could they have had something going on in their life? Did I actually do something wrong? And if I did something wrong, if I upset somebody, I don't like upsetting people, but if I upset somebody, was it in my control too? Is it something that I can admit, or could there have been other situations going on with that person as well? So getting compassionate. And also time yourself. If you're analytical, then you can kind of get distracted quite easily. So I can anyway. So time yourself on what you're working on. Give yourself focus. This has helped me amazingly, is to just give myself an hour or an hour and a half on a specific topic that I want to work on. And before I know it, I'm just so focused in the detail and the depths of that work and feeling more accomplished and fulfilled. Or even if I'm going out to play, if I'm going out for a walk, timing myself so I don't need to look at my phone, or when I need to get back, especially if we feel like we don't have a lot of time, then timing ourselves can actually be useful. Rate yourself on a barometer of 1 to 10. How do you feel today, or what's going on in your life today, your work today, your play, your hobbies, your relationships, your creativity? What's going on? Your stress. What rate it? And then what is one step you could put into place to maybe reduce that? Where do you want it to be? So really rating what's going on in your life and using that sort of analysis that actually brings back facts. So actually it's like, oh, well, I really want to spend more time for myself. I really want to spend time recouping my energy, and I never get to do it. And it's like, actually, well, if you look at the facts, spending some time reviewing your day, well, I did have 5 minutes of meditation, or I did have a bath there, or I did have a nice cup of tea there. Acknowledging that really helps you use your analysis, because it needs using. If you're an analytical person, I think we can put these things to good use, and then it allows you to come out with a more positive picture rather than giving yourself a hard time. So I hope some of those things are useful for you. Let me know whether they work for you. Let me know if you've got any alternatives. And as always, all my freebies, all my content is, or at least my video content is on my YouTube channel, Amajot at Amaru. My self-love interviews are on there as well, about why it can be difficult to love ourselves sometimes, what people find useful, tips and tricks around body health, around boundaries, around saying yes, saying no, mindset, how we can, stop giving ourselves a hard time. All of that stuff's on there. And I've got loads of other freebies on my website as well, amaru.com. I'll speak to you soon. Bye.